So when I was connected with the folks that did Alluvial Plains all of a year ago now, there was a Discord server where I used to post, and in fact they all still post. And David Servan I don't think posts anymore, which is a bit of a disappointment. David's very busy with his painting. So I feel somewhat connected to David through Facebook, but not as once I was connected to him. So I posted on the Discord server this week that is the band breaking up? Like, is there a possibility that I will never have another conversation with Barney Dicker, for example? And I know a number of listeners to this podcast have actually appeared on prior podcast recordings. I know Barney might be out there as a listener. Obviously, Spencer is out there as a listener. But more importantly, people like Matthew Gibson and people like Chris Abbott, both of whom I'd love to have a conversation with in the foreseeable future, if possible. They may have nothing to say associated with this role-playing game thing, but it would just be nice to have a conversation in the future with these two gentlemen. As I record these podcasts, I'm starting to term, I put this out in my Long Funk recording in the other channel today, that I'm starting to coin these things as being microcasts. And they seem to be the only time that I have available as a parent, kind of recorded down in podcast form. But also, I think the ideas for these podcasts are relatively short, and I don't have much significant to talk about in terms of long form. Yes, I'm still going through the rule sets. Yes, I'm waiting for the final set of Skaven. I'm in a very curious mood associated with the end of Rochi, whose name's rhymes with Crotch Rochford, and getting the last miniatures from him, because he's in a state of, or he seems to at least correspond with the state that his back is causing him all kinds of concerns. And who knows if he'll continue the miniature painting game after I'm finished with my commissions with him. It's funny what happens to a miniature painter after a period of time, because you develop such a close relationship with them, which is very much forced around the miniature painting. Anyway, I digress on this particular topic. What I'd like to say is that I hope these podcasts will eventually return to a conversation cast format. Spencer's recent appearance on this particular recording was a good indication that that might happen. Another one of my podcasts, the Biota Conversations podcast from biotacast.org, is I'm finally getting more people, or maybe a short list of people, to record podcasts with again in a conversational format. And it's really difficult to me because I think a podcast now very much in this microcast format to actually think of it more in a long form as well. I'm going to have to go through some mental calisthenics before the first recording next weekend. But I'm also recording Model Rail Radio next weekend, and while a few participants from Model Rail Radio have passed away recently, it still hopefully will stick in the format that it is there for some foreseeable future. So my hope is putting the shout out that the band, if it won't get back together, might at least allow for a few participants to have conversations in the foreseeable future. Tom Barbalet in Las Vegas, Nevada, signing out.